Okay, welcome to Supernova Labs. So, we've been having a conversation today about fixed mindset versus growth mindset. I guess in the effective accelerationist regime, it would be the decel mindset versus the accelerationist mindset, and everything that goes into that. Because I think something that I've fallen into the trap of recently is definitely falling into a fixed mindset with a few things. With designing space planes and all all the conversations that you need to have to build up the relationships and to develop the technologies necessary to push this project forwards. Sometimes I have built relationships with people that have had adverse intentions for how they want to deal with me or not deal with me, for example, whereby they take what I'm working on and redevelop it for themselves and just cut me out of the equation. This happens. This has happened more than once, and it can leave you with a bit of a fixed mindset where you don't want to deal with people because, yeah, I mean, people are out to fuck you, and that you end up not sharing as much as you want to because there will always be people that which is a shame can't think for themselves and need to take something of somebody else's and make it their own because they haven't done the work to discover what is theirs, and will always be reaching for I don't know. You must know people that like constantly trying to like claim things that aren't theirs as theirs and all this kind of stuff because they don't. I don't know. Maybe it's a lack of confidence thing. They don't see the value in their own work. But again, yeah, let's move away from the fixed mindset stuff. Like where I've tried my best to turn this into a growth mindset, it's that for most ideas, again, like in business, ideas turn a penny. Execution is what matters. Execution against them. And for most ideas, there is a capability gap between where a person is and where they need to be to effectively execute against that idea. And sometimes that gap is so large that somebody taking that and developing it for you is to your benefit. And this is kind of how I've resolved a lot of the difficulties that necessarily come with trying to design a single stage to orbit spaceplane. It's never been done before, right? So how are you going to utilize what you have available to you to get that done? And if you have a bank of people that are ready and willing to take on free ideas or concepts that they can integrate into their own business, such that they're willing to put the R&D development in and build technologies and solutions that then you can pick up down the road, then perhaps it's just an integration problem. It's difficult because, like, I say that and I still don't fully believe it. It's painful. It's always painful to see something that you pour your heart and soul into taken and stolen by somebody else. They have the money and the resources to just kick you down and make sure that you never see the benefit. And the only resolution I've been able to come to with this is that it wasn't for me to develop. And my time is better spent on the more difficult technologies that only I can produce. And I'll come back around in the future when they've done all the work and they've put all the technology together, and I'll pick it up at that point and reintegrate it back into the program. Because there is nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. And sometimes that requires letting go of the idea in order for it to flourish where it's best suited. I think sometimes people can fall into a trap of grasping too tightly a solution that they want to happen, or a result that they need to define their self-worth. And sometimes the routes that you need to take to get there are not worth the risk, not worth the means to get there. I think this is an interesting corollary to the hero's journey, that sometimes in pursuit of heroic aims, one can end up becoming a villain in the process. It's a really funny analogue to My Hero Academia I've been watching recently, where Deku, in his pursuit of defeating the ultimate villain, grasps so tightly to the idea that it's his to solve, ultimately denying the route that he gained his power in the first place, which was in conjunction with everybody around him, and that everybody contributing to a solution is what gave him his power. So it begs the question: well, what is mine to build? Right? And how do I derive value from something where often there are many better people to design and build what I'm talking about? Where are we going to make money when you're just giving everything away? In theory, it's through integration and through designing and building the end product. Because if it found its genesis here, perhaps it finds its end here. Or perhaps we run commercial R&D. Well, that's quite unresolved. I quite like the idea of pivoting to a donation-led business and just becoming a charity. But I don't know, there's a part of me that sees that quite dishonourable. Because there are many people in the world more deserving of the support than me. I'm coming at this from a position of privilege. and it would be wrong to exploit that. And I will find a solution. I have to. I'd be curious about your thoughts. Because as much as we'd like to be an OEM and build these space planes and sell them, there's a long journey to get to that point. I've tried to break it down in terms of building these engines, and got another meeting with Glasgow this week about how best to do that so we can sell them. And we also design boxes, so perhaps I spoke to somebody that got one of these boxes from our pitch the other day, and apparently their office was so enamoured by them that other people wanted them. And so perhaps that's another route to getting some other cash. But in the meantime, I've been doing in terms of growth mindset, trying and learning new things. So in my initial designs, some might see that I had some organic shell structure, and I've been in Blender trying to work that out. So this is the current model for the Spaceplane. You can see it's like a lifting body design, bit of a whale, because this forms the lift. But if I pull back this shell, you can see a generative structure that I've been working on. And at the minute it's not how I would want it. It's like I've tried to do a Voronoi pattern that basically superimposes itself. There we go. But this would be a 3D printable substructure that you then overwrap a carbon fiber weave and a high temperature ceramic on top. And it's kind of cool. I like the organic shapes. I think it would be good for this to be field driven, so the mass reduction is based on like simulation data instead of just being a Voronoi pattern. I think I'll make another version of this today. But this gives us a route to start, at least. Got the cockpit there we can open as well. I love this. So things are moving. And I think, in terms of growth mindset, doing a little bit every day, that's kind of the way I've been operating for a long time now. Making sure that the stuff I do every day is leading towards some milestones, such as getting an open model out there that is like a baseline standard that we can sell. That we'll give away the designs, we'll sell the build. And structure a network of partners that can build all the different components with the unique selling point of having the only network that can currently design and build these space planes. So not only does that provide us with first mover advantage when we go to market, but it also provides a forcing function for other services to catch up and provide the same. As I've said a few times, when it comes to designing space planes, 90% of it is convincing others to do it as well. Same with Tesla, right? They open source their patents on electric cars because a lot of building a market and building demand comes from just giving away the technology when you're that far ahead. Because you want your competitors to steal things. You want your competitors to borrow ideas and integrate it into their own work, because actually, one, that creates demand for your work because you get passive marketing from their marketing. And two, the future that you're trying to bring to pass happens faster because you end up with more people working on it, even though... Well, because your interests are aligned. Definitely need to seek alignment more. I need to seek alignment more. A lot of conflict in the world right now. It would be good to position a model where people can collaborate. Try my best to get people to collaborate, but when people come from a world where it's dog eat dog, you've got to fuck people to get fed. I understand. I guess it's like bringing a dog in from the streets where they've had to fend for themselves and they don't want to share food, and they'll like bark and they'll scratch at others because they need to defend the personal space. But with love, with attention, unconditionally, people begin to learn that there are other models out there. And there are people out there that want to see everybody succeed. Not just... and aren't just out for themselves. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work to do to get to that point. And I'll admit there are times where I think my heart is not in it. You can't just give yourself away like that for years and years and it not affect you. But I believe in a future where everybody's working together and that people believe in square deals. Right, what happened to those? Deals where both people are getting a benefit out of it. I was selling some silver the other day because I needed the money. And the place, the pawnbrokers I took the silver, knew that I was in a bad situation and exploited that to force me into taking a bad deal. And it's really reaffirmed my commitment to square deals. I tried offering, I was like, look, this is the situation, this is the price of the market, and just didn't want any of it. When you're pursuing square deals, people should both come out feeling like you've found a compromise where both people are kind of happy, right? That is the premise of democracy, right? Is that nobody's like absolutely happy, but everyone is sort of happy that we can work together, right? We need to work together. Oh man, I just don't know how people have forgotten this. I think this is the problem with elders dying off, right? The people that knew the horrors of the First and Second World War wrote the United Nations Charter because they were working together and they wanted to enshrine it in a document that they're working together. There's a lot of people out there now that just don't want to work together with people. And I've got to be the person that shows them that there's something different. That's my toxic trait. Yeah, I just wish it was more lucrative and there was more cash for doing that. Problem is, you've got to open yourself up to getting fucked. And that means getting fucked a lot. But that means that it's forced me to move faster, and the only way that I can compete is to just move faster than other people can integrate stuff into their business. Right? Keep people on their toes. So either they're chasing after me so fast that they spin out and creates a learning opportunity for them, or we all take off together and do a dope aerobatic show. Cool. So yeah, I appreciate it. It's a bit rambly. But I hope you've gleaned some insight into the way I'm thinking, and hopefully has helped you think differently about something you might be working on or experiencing in your life. But until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't give up on dreams that you have. Like, look at this. I'd have known I was able to do this even 6 years ago. I wouldn't have believed you. I've had to learn 3D modelling, I've had to learn texturing, I've had to learn geometry nodes, how to get all this working, how to design it so it's 3D printable, all the materials science you might need to get that to work. There's so much to learn out there. So go out and get it. See you soon.